The story begins in complete darkness. A man suddenly wakes up, confused and disoriented. He wonders if he fell asleep and tries to figure out where he is, but it's far too dark. As he panics, a faint line of light slowly appears in front of him. The light grows wider, and through it, he realizes he's looking out at a forest. That's when things get even stranger. He can't move his body at all. Before he can process what's happening, a strange status screen appears. When he reads it, he freezes in shock. His species is listed as dragon egg. Moments later, a calm divine voice explains that the screen shows all his abilities in numerical form. Completely confused, he tries to question the voice, asking who it is and where he is. However, the divine voice keeps repeating that it cannot explain anything at level 1, which only frustrates him more. In his agitation, he moves slightly and suddenly falls from a tree. He hits the ground, starts rolling downhill, and nearly falls into a river. When he finally stops, he looks into the water and sees his reflection. To his horror, it really is an egg. Now there's no denying it. He has somehow become a dragon egg. The divine voice finally gives him more details. Dragon eggs are classified as F-rank monsters. If their shell breaks completely, they die instantly. They're weak, unable to move properly, and can only roll around. Worse, dragon eggs are considered a gourmet delicacy by monsters and are often destroyed by adventurers. The only reason they're sometimes left alone is if a parent dragon is nearby. As if things weren't bad enough, the system explains that rolling is his only way of movement. While experimenting, his rolling skill levels up, allowing him to control his direction. He rolls forward at full speed, only to fall off another ledge. This increases his fall resistance, but his HP drops dangerously low. Realizing he's badly hurt, he decides to rest. When he wakes up, his HP is fully restored, teaching him that sleeping recovers health. Once he feels better, he starts rolling again while thinking about his future. He wonders if he'll eventually hatch into a dragon and whether this world works like a game where he has to gain experience and evolve. While lost in thought, he notices a giant insect nearby. Using his appraisal skill, he learns it's a dark worm, also known as an egg eater. The worm immediately attacks him. He rolls away as fast as he can, but it's clear he won't escape forever. Thinking quickly, he lures the worm toward a cliff. At the last moment, he dodges and crashes into it, knocking the creature off the edge. The worm dies instantly, marking his very first victory. The system announces that he gained experience and reached level 5, which is the maximum level for a dragon egg. With all evolution requirements met, he's given a choice: evolve into a little dragon or a baby dragon. The system explains that the little dragon is a sturdy, battle-ready dwarf dragon known for its fire breath. The baby dragon, on the other hand, is weak and often hunted, but it has immense potential and can evolve into many different dragon species. At first, he chooses the little dragon because it's the safer option. However, the divine voice suddenly changes tone and urges him to aim for the very top and not limit himself. This makes him rethink his decision. Realizing that the baby dragon has far greater long-term potential, he decides to take the risk and chooses baby dragon, refusing to live with regrets. His body transforms and he evolves into a small yellow baby dragon. He gains new skills, his stats increase dramatically, but his HP and MP don't fully recover. Exhausted, he looks at the dead worm and realizes it suddenly looks edible. Driven by instinct, he eats it, recovers his strength, and falls asleep. When he wakes, he accepts that he's been reincarnated into another world, though he has no memory of his past life, not even his gender. Soon after, he encounters more dark worms. This time, he defeats them easily, leveling up rapidly and unlocking new skills like Dragon Punch. However, eating worms tastes awful, so he tries mushrooms instead, only to nearly poison himself. From that moment on, he swears off random mushrooms. Determined to find better food, he hunts a gray wolf. Using his skills, he defeats it and discovers that roasted wolf meat tastes incredible. After defeating another wolf, he reaches level 20 and realizes he needs just 5 more levels to evolve again. As he hunts and eats, he slowly gets used to living like a dragon. Despite growing stronger, loneliness starts to set in. Then he hears voices in the distance, human voices. Feeling hopeful, he hides and observes a group of adventurers. Thinking he looks small and harmless, he steps out and tries to act cute, hoping to befriend them. Instead, the adventurers immediately attack. One of them slashes him, while another uses magic that paralyzes his body. Unable to move, he realizes how foolish he was to believe humans would accept a dragon. As the leader prepares to kill him, a female adventurer steps in and stops them. She heals him with magic, saving his life. Using appraisal, he learns her name is Myria. Even though she's low on MP, she chooses to heal him anyway. During this moment, he gains the Greek language skill, allowing him to start understanding human speech. Just as things calm down, screams echo in the distance. Myria recognizes them as her comrades and rushes off to help, despite his desperate warnings. Still partially paralyzed, he forces himself to move and chases after her. When he arrives, he sees the terrifying enemy they're facing, a C-ranked rock dragon with overwhelming power. As the monster turns its attention towards him, fear takes hold, and he wonders if this is truly where everything ends. The baby dragon hides in the bushes, staring at the massive rock dragon in front of him. In that moment, he realizes how foolish he was to believe he could win by working together with humans. Looking at the enemy's size, he even questions how something this huge can be called little. As he watches carefully, he notices Myria lying on the ground. She is still alive, but the rock dragon has already spotted her and is moving straight toward her. Fear floods his mind, and a voice inside keeps telling him to run away or he will die. The divine voice confirms the harsh truth. He has no skills or stats capable of defeating such a monster. Even so, the baby dragon refuses to abandon the person who saved him earlier. He gathers his courage and rushes forward. When the rock dragon attacks, he narrowly escapes by rolling away, earning the title King of Evasion in the process. During the chaos, he sees that one man has already died, while another is still alive but bleeding heavily. Knowing he cannot win, the baby dragon changes his goal and focuses on saving whoever he can. He uses his rolling technique again and again, not to defeat the enemy, but to lure it away from the injured humans. The rock dragon suddenly stomps the ground and unleashes a tremor, striking the baby directly. Realizing evasion alone is no longer enough, he jumps forward and lands a fire-powered punch. The attack works, but the monster quickly regenerates, proving once again that it cannot be defeated. Taking advantage of the moment, the baby dragon grabs Myria and decides to escape. He knows he cannot save everyone, but he can at least save her. While carrying her, he notices her HP steadily dropping because of blood loss. He considers using healing magic, but quickly understands he does not have that power yet. Instead, he relies on a sharp sense of smell to find the direction humans came from earlier. Following the human scent, he runs with everything he has. Soon, a pack of gray wolves surround him. With no way out, the baby dragon fights back fiercely while still protecting Myria. She briefly wakes up and sees the small dragon standing alone against multiple wolves, fighting desperately to protect her, before losing consciousness again. After defeating the wolves with great effort, the baby dragon continues forward, already reaching his physical limit. Just as he was about to collapse, he finally reaches a human village. He cries out for help, but the villagers only hear the terrifying roar of a monster. Panicked, they rush outside with weapons, and one man stabs the baby dragon in the leg with a spear. Despite the pain, the baby dragon refuses to drop Myria and desperately tries to make them understand he is helping her. Fortunately, one of the villagers recognizes Myria, calming the situation. Realizing words will not work, the baby dragon gently places her on the ground and runs back into the forest. The villagers immediately tend to Myria and call for Marielle. Alone again, the baby dragon feels relieved knowing she is safe, even though his own wound is severe. At that moment, he learns a painful truth. No matter what he does, a dragon will always be feared as a dragon. As a small reward for his actions, the divine voice grants him the title, Itty Bitty Hero. 2 days later, Miria wakes up in the village under Marielle's care. The elf explains that her injuries were severe and required powerful white magic to heal. Miria learns that Grants is dead and that Dawes is missing, likely killed by the rock dragon. Overcome with guilt, she blames herself, but Marielle says Dawes' pride led to his own death. As Miria wonders how she made it back to the village, Marielle insists she was found unconscious near the village and attacked by a monster that was later driven away. Since no one entered the forest that night, Marielle believes Miria lost her memory due to trauma. A faint image of a baby dragon fighting wolves flashes through Miria's mind, but she cannot fully remember. Meanwhile, the baby dragon wakes up completely healed, surprised by his rapid recovery. Thinking about Miria and his own weakness against the rock dragon, he becomes determined to grow stronger. Using a clever trap, he lures multiple shadow worms into one place and defeats them all, even earning the title Wrongdoer, which he clearly dislikes. After reaching level 25, the baby dragon unlocks his next evolution. He is presented with several choices, each with different strengths and futures. When he hears that one path allows him to transform into a human, his hesitation turns into deep conflict. Choosing power, safety, or morality will shape the rest of his life. The dragon facing a serious dilemma. He knows that evolving into a young plague dragon is a dangerous choice, but his worry for Miria is stronger than his fear. More than anything, he wants the ability to transform into a human so he can live honestly among people. If things go wrong, he believes he can always return to his original form. With that hope in mind, he finally accepts the evolution. His body grows rapidly, and his appearance changes into a large black dragon with red patterns. When he looks at his reflection in the water, regret immediately hits him. He looks exactly like an evil monster. At that moment, the divine voice announces several changes. His status check ability levels up, allowing him to see detailed information about his skills. The divine voice itself reaches level 2, and the dragon gains new abilities like flight and dragon-scale dust. His bite evolves into poisonous fangs, and he also gains multiple dark-type abilities. On top of that, his titles upgrade, including Calamity, and his villain title rises to level 2. The dragon starts to worry that he has truly chosen the wrong path. Looking through his skills, he realizes something terrible. There is no human transformation ability. Panicking, he demands answers from the divine voice, but it refuses to explain anything beyond his current level. After calming down, he tries asking about the divine voice itself, but once again, no information is given. Then he tests his new abilities. Dragon-scale dust activates when he flaps his wings, releasing a poisonous miasma that weakens everything around him. At maximum power, it can poison entire nations just by flying overhead. To test it, he flaps his wings near a flower, which instantly withers and dies. This makes him realize he has become a walking biological weapon. His pestilent breath is even worse, spreading contagious disease that once wiped out an entire civilization. The dragon begins to fear that he is becoming the villain of this world. He checks his titles next. One of them, Mini Hero, is given to those who show courage and kindness. It slightly boosts weapon damage and strongly affects future evolution paths. Seeing this, the dragon believes there may still be hope to escape the evil route. However, when he learns about the villain title, his fear returns. This title strengthens dark abilities, weakens regeneration, makes learning white magic harder, and heavily influences evolution toward evil. Overwhelmed, the dragon panics, convinced he made a terrible mistake. The scene shifts to Miria and Marielle inspecting the village's protection stones. These stones form a barrier that discourages monsters from entering, but Marielle explains that it is more of a psychological deterrent than a true defense. Monsters with strong determination can still pass. This makes Miria wonder if the small dragon truly came to protect her. To prevent it from happening again, Marielle reinforces the stones with magic. As they work, Miria admits she believes the little dragon saved her. Marielle questions whether Miria is developing feelings for a monster, which Miria quickly denies. Then Marielle explains how monsters grow stronger by leveling up and evolving into higher ranks. Monsters have level limits, and once reached, they evolve and repeat the process. Special individuals like heroes and saints can hear the divine voice, which is how this knowledge was passed down. Marielle ends the conversation stating that monsters live only to gain power, and even if one saved a human once, it will eventually turn on them. Humans and monsters, she says, cannot coexist. Back in the forest, the young plague dragon refuses to give up. He decides to grow stronger as fast as possible and reclaim the path of a hero. His goal is clear: level up, gain human transformation, and return to Miria's village. With that resolution, he sets out to hunt monsters for experience. Almost immediately, things go wrong. He is suddenly trapped in a powerful web, and a giant spider appears. The dragon realizes he cannot defeat such a strong enemy. When another web attack comes, he uses baby breath, burning the spider and accidentally setting the web on fire. He rolls on the ground to extinguish the flames, gaining fire resistance in the process. Taking advantage of the spider's burning state, he attacks with venomous claws, but her HP only drops to half. Knowing he cannot win, he escapes. The spider quickly recovers and gives chase. The dragon tries to use his flight skill, but his wings cannot support his weight, forcing him to keep rolling. After a long chase, his rolling skill levels up, granting him the title, Chicken Run. Even as he feels embarrassed, he suddenly reaches a cliff. With no other choice, he rolls and leaps off. This time his wings finally work, allowing him to glide across safely. Thinking he escaped, he relaxes for a moment, only to see the spider cross the gap using webs and continue the chase. As he flees, he accidentally runs over a wolf, gaining experience. Thanks to bonus titles, he quickly levels up to 8. Feeling stronger, he finally turns to fight. He pretends to be weakened, tricking the spider to approach him. When she gets close, he unleashes a full-power baby breath and finishes her off with a tail strike. The dragon jumps to level 14. His breath skill improves, and he gains the dragon tail ability. However, once again, there is no human transformation. Frustrated, he takes the wolf's body and searches for shelter. He finds a cave, cooks the meat, and experiments by adding fruits to improve the flavor. This simple idea earns him the title Master Chef, making him feel like his life is constantly being observed. As night falls, he dreams of living peacefully among humans, but reality hits hard. In his current terrifying form, no one would accept him. Desperate, he begs for human transformation, but receives no answer. Meanwhile, in the village, Miria hears rumors that someone matching Da's description was seen near a pond. Though others doubt the story, Miria takes it seriously. She tells Marielle she wants to search the forest, but Marielle refuses due to the danger. Instead, she promises to contact the Adventurers Guild. The next day, the dragon wakes up refreshed and eager to keep leveling. While washing his face at a lake, he notices a strange slime-like creature. When he tries to check its status, his head fills with pain, and his status skill levels up again. Even so, the creature's information remains unreadable.
Maria argues with Marielle. She wants to go into the forest to search for Mr. Daz, who still hasn't returned. Marielle firmly refuses, saying it's too dangerous and they can't risk more lives. Maria suggests forming a search party, but Marielle shoots that idea down as well. In the end, she reluctantly agrees when Marielle promised to ask the guild for help and send adventurers instead. Elsewhere in the forest, the young plague dragon wakes up feeling refreshed after a good meal and sleep. Full of motivation, he decides to grind experience and aim for one thing above all else: human transformation. While exploring, he notices something strange on the ground. At first, it looks like a puddle, but he quickly realizes it might be a monster. Thinking it's weak, he tries to check its stats. However, his view stats skill isn't strong enough yet, causing intense pain in his head and eyes. The skill levels up mid-attempt, revealing a horrifying sight that makes him immediately back off. Realizing it's something he should never mess with, he wisely leaves the area. Continuing his search, he spots what looks like a pot lying around. Thinking it could be useful for carrying fruit, he approaches it, only to discover it's actually a monster called a patortis. He attacks it, but its shell is incredibly hard. Even after repeated blows, the monster uses rest to heal itself, turning the fight into a headache. Using his brain instead of brute force, the dragon lures the patortis into water where it can't swim properly. The strategy works, and he defeats it, gaining experience and leveling up. However, the shell breaks completely, ruining his dream of getting a free cooking pot. Soon after, more patortises appear. They use a skill called Call Allies and begin swarming him. When they start merging together, the dragon panics slightly, but charges in anyway. Using a powerful move, he unlocks a new skill called Meteorite and wipes them out in one massive attack. The result is huge. He jumps from level 15 all the way to level 30, and multiple skills level up at once. Although pleased with the efficiency, he realizes every shell breaks during combat, so he still doesn't have a usable pot. At least he gets meat. Sadly, no vegetables. As he reflects on his growth, he realizes that even at level 30, he still hasn't learned human transformation. With only 10 levels left before the next evolution, he starts wondering how long it will really take. Suddenly, he hears unfamiliar footsteps. Investigating carefully, he encounters a clay bear, a monster made of clay with high recovery abilities. The dragon sees potential here. If he defeats it, he could use the clay to make furniture and tools. He launches a sneak attack, but the clay bear turns out to be far stronger than expected. It regenerates, uses sandstorms, and transforms its body, making direct combat nearly impossible. The dragon switches to hit-and-run tactics, slowly draining its MP instead of trying to overpower it. After observing how the clay bear's body separates and softens, he figures out a weak point. Using that opening, he delivers a decisive attack, finally defeating the monster. He gains experience, levels up again, and unlocks a new skill called Nutcracker, which is powerful even if it doesn't look very cool. With the clay now secured, he fires it and successfully crafts proper bowls. While waiting, he goes out gathering food. Thanks to his upgraded View Stats skill, he can now identify valuable plants, poisonous mushrooms, rare spices, and even dangerous hallucinogenic fungi, which he wisely avoids. Back in the village, a villager claims he saw Mr. Dawes walking deeper into the forest. Hearing this, Maria decides to enter the forest alone, believing she must find him herself. At the same time, the guild sends 2 unknown adventurers to investigate the strange events in Noah's forest. While they begin their mission from another route, Maria moves forward on her own, unaware of the danger ahead. Meanwhile, the dragon returns home and cooks his first proper meal using meat, broth, and salt he collected earlier. The result is so good that he feels like he's reclaimed a forgotten part of his old life. His cooking-related title levels up, and inspired, he begins crafting more ceramic items like bowls, spoons, and even bricks, earning a new title as a ceramic artisan. Later, while decorating the area around his cave with flowers, he encounters a new monster, the Venom Princess Lacerta. Every one of her skills revolves around poison. She attacks suddenly using poison-based abilities and a clay projectile, then retreats just as mysteriously. At first, the dragon thinks the fight is over, but soon realizes the poison is far stronger than expected. His poison resistance increases, yet the pain continues spreading through his body. It becomes clear this encounter isn't over, and the danger is far from gone.
Deep inside the forest, where the young plague dragon is calmly thinking about decorating the outside of his cave, he notices poisonous flowers growing nearby and casually thinks they might look nice. even if his daily life is already painful enough. Suddenly, he senses something strange. A monster he has never seen before appears. Using appraisal, he learns it is a venom princess Lacerda, a creature with nothing but poison-related skills. Before he can react properly, the monster attacks, poisons him, and quickly retreats. At first, he's confused, wondering if it simply ran away or gave up. Moments later, the pain hits him hard. His body feels heavy, his shoulder will not move, and he realizes this poison is far more dangerous than normal. His poison resistance levels up, but even that is not enough. As time passes, the poison keeps getting worse, and he understands this might be part of the monster's plan. Lying there, struggling to breathe, he forces himself to think. If he does nothing, he will die. So he uses appraisal again to learn more about the Venom Princess. The information reveals the truth. This monster poisons its prey, runs away, and comes back later to eat the remains. Most importantly, its bodily fluids are the only antidote to the poison it creates. Now everything is clear. To survive, he must capture the Venom Princess alive. Using the little strength he has left, he starts moving, knowing she must be watching him and waiting for the poison to finish the job. He deliberately draws her out, and soon the chase begins. Both of them use the roll skill, racing through the forest. He leads her toward a familiar cliff, the same one he used earlier to escape another monster. At the last moment, he turns around and shoves the Venom Princess off the cliff. For a second, he feels relieved, but that relief turns into panic. If she dies, he loses the antidote, and his life along with it. Without hesitation, he jumps after her. Mid-air, the poison surges again, nearly knocking him unconscious. Using the last of his strength, he fires baby breath to push them back onto solid ground. The moment they land, his body finally gives up, and he collapses. Meanwhile, back near the village, Myria returns after another long day of searching the forest for him. She finds nothing again. Suddenly, Marielle calls out to her. Not wanting to be caught sneaking around, Myria quickly pretends everything is normal. Marielle questions her and suspects she has been searching the forest again, but Myria lies and says she only went for a walk. With no proof, Marielle accepts it and tells her that adventurers are on their way to handle the situation. Back in the forest, the dragon slowly wakes up. To his surprise, the Venom Princess is still there. He realizes something incredible. The poison is gone. She gave him the antidote herself. After he jumped to save her, she no longer saw him as prey. Instead, a bond formed between them. Later, he brings her back to his cave. They eat together, and for the first time in a long while, he does not feel lonely. He thinks about giving her a name, but decides it's not necessary. What matters is that they understand each other. As days pass, they begin hunting together as true partners. However, he soon learns one strange thing about her. She loved eating poisonous plants. When he burns a toxic mushroom to stop her, she gets clearly upset. Realizing his mistake, he promises to get her more later. Suddenly, a powerful presence appears. A rare monster called Twin Heads blocks their path. The creature has two heads, one for physical attacks and one for magic. Even worse, it can control gravity. The dragon is unsure if he can win, but he and the Venom Princess silently agree to fight together. The battle begins, and the gravity skill slams him into the ground. Just when things look hopeless, the Venom Princess attacks with her poison, breaking the spell. He counterattacks with baby breath, but the monster regenerates. Watching closely, he realizes the blue head uses magic, while the red head handles physical attacks. Using this knowledge, they adjust their strategy. The Venom Princess poisons the magic head, forcing the monster to make a shocking move. To stop the poison, the red head bites off the blue head entirely. But the fight is not over. The severed head is still alive and chases after the Venom Princess.
The dragon defeats the remaining body with his nutcracker attack and then rushes to save her. At the last second, he crushes the remaining head with his bare hands. When he sees that she's alive, relief floods his heart. He admits that he doesn't care about becoming human anymore, as long as he can stay with her. At that moment, the system announces his level increase and unexpectedly grants him the human transformation skill anyway. Back in the village, the adventurers finally arrive, unaware of what has just happened deep in the forest.
A short time earlier, two adventurers, the human Melia and the dog-type beast woman Yuno, are investigating the forest. Yuno questions why Melia accepted a rank C mission without the rest of their party. Melia explains that with fewer people, it is easier to escape if things turn dangerous. She assures Yuno that the mission is only about investigation, not monster hunting, even though they are searching for a man believed to be dead. They arrive at Marielle's house and learn the missing person is a villager named Das, who disappeared after fighting an earth dragon. Marielle also explains that Maria feels responsible for Das and has been secretly searching the forest alone, which worries her. With the details clear, Melia and Yuno head into the forest to investigate. Later that day, deep in the forest, the plague dragon tends to Lacerta and then goes out to test his newly unlocked human transformation skill. Hoping to see what kind of human he might become, he activates it, only for the results to be painful, unstable, and disappointing. His stats drop badly, so he quickly reverts to his dragon form, frustrated by the failure. As night falls, Melia and Yuno defeat a giant spider and decide to stop for the day. On their way back, they discover a strange cave filled with glowing mushrooms, tools, rare spices, and statues resembling a dragon and a human. Inside, they are briefly confronted by Lacerta, the Venom Princess, and quickly retreat after realizing how dangerous the place is. Outside, the plague dragon notices the intruders. Wanting to explain himself but knowing his monster form would cause panic, he uses his human transformation again. When he appears, the adventurers panic, attack him, identify him as a plague dragon, and escape. Left behind, the dragon is once again rejected, with only Lacerta there to comfort him. After retreating, Melia and Yuno realize the forest is far too dangerous with multiple dragons present and decide to return later with reinforcements. The next morning, the plague dragon recovers and decides to get revenge on monkeys that have been stealing his food. With Lacerta's help, he poisons the meat outside his cave and defeats several monkeys. However, a powerful leader, a giant orangutan, appears. After failed negotiations, the dragon challenges the orangutan to a sacred one-on-one duel. The battle is fierce, pushing both to their limits. In the end, the dragon is knocked out, but the system announces his level up and grants him the title of clan chief. The plague dragon finishing his brutal duel against the giant orangutan. Using everything he has left, he lands a powerful dragon counter, leveling up his dragon punch and barely winning the fight. Even though he collapses afterward, the system confirms his victory, pushing him to level 39 and granting him the title of clan boss. He later wakes up inside his cave and realizes the Venom Princess brought him back. To his surprise, the orangutan's former subordinates are waiting for him. Instead of attacking, they treat him as their new leader. After checking his status, he understands that defeating the previous boss made him their chief. Seeing the advantage, he decides to keep them as workers to handle chores like gathering food and expanding the cave. With hunting no longer necessary, he teaches the monkeys how to make jerky and clay pots. While he focuses on organizing the cave, the Venom Princess starts acting distant. Her jealousy leads her to poison one of the monkeys, forcing him to step in and demand the antidote. She finally admits she feels ignored, and he apologizes, promising to spend more time with her by going hunting together. Meanwhile, Miria grows worried after the adventurers fail to return and decides to search the forest on her own. During the hunt, the dragon brings the monkeys along again, upsetting the Venom Princess even more. When Miria wanders too deep into the forest, she is attacked by Maha wolves. The dragon hears her scream and rushes to save her, defeating the wolves just in time. Although Miria is terrified at first, she slowly realizes he is the same dragon who saved her before.
As more wolves surround them, she places her trust in him and climbs onto his back. Standing between her and danger, the dragon prepares to fight, determined to protect her no matter what. Meanwhile, Marielle, noticing that Maria has been gone much longer than usual. At first, she assumes the girl is nearby, but after checking the village and asking around, she starts to worry. When she still cannot find Maria, Marielle realizes the truth. Maria must have gone back into the forest to search for Daz. Even though she knows how dangerous that forest is, Marielle decides she cannot leave Maria alone and heads into the forest herself, telling Gregory to stay behind in case Maria returns. Around the same time, the remaining adventurer parties finally regroup. Yuno explains what happened inside the cave, describing the crushing pressure they felt and the terrifying presence of the plague dragon. Her report makes several adventurers hesitate, questioning whether they are truly prepared to face such a threat. Seeing morale drop, Melia steps forward and reminds everyone that danger is part of the path they chose as adventurers. Her words help steady the group. Deep in the forest, our protagonist is sprinting at full speed with Maria holding tightly onto his bat as Maha wolves chase them. Realizing he cannot keep running forever, he leads the wolves into a narrow valley to limit their movement. After setting Maria down in a safer spot, he turns back and uses his plague dragon abilities to defeat several of the wolves. Despite the victory, he gains no experience, realizing his stats have already reached their limit. With the immediate danger gone, he picks Maria up again and continues moving. As they travel, he struggles with what to do next, knowing that revealing himself near the village could put both of them at risk. Suddenly, Maria hugs him tightly and thanks him. At that moment, a divine voice announces that he has met the requirements for evolution and presents several evolution paths. He carefully examines each option. He rejects the plague dragon path, knowing it would only make him more frightening. He briefly considers becoming a demi-human, but remains uncertain. Another option grants flight and white magic, which tempts him, but the idea of becoming smaller concerns him. Unable to decide, he chooses to postpone the evolution. They soon stop at a waterfall so Maria can drink. While resting, he notices something unusual. He can now partially understand her words. His language comprehension skill has improved. Maria introduces herself properly, and both of them are surprised and happy that they can finally communicate, even if imperfectly. They share a rare, peaceful moment together. Later, Maria asks him if he has a name. He realizes that he has never had one. After thinking for a moment, he allows Maria to choose. She names him Ilusia. The divine voice asks him to confirm the name, warning that it cannot be changed. After careful thought, he accepts, officially becoming Ilusia. Their moment of calm does not last long. Heavy, thunderous footsteps begin echoing through the forest. Ilusia immediately recognizes the danger. Without hesitation, he places Maria on his back and starts running again, knowing that something far more powerful is approaching and that they must move fast. Ilusia and Maria are attacked by Maha wolves led by Daz. Maria recognizes him, but something is clearly wrong. When Daz falls, Ilusia discovers he is carrying a rock dragon egg. If it reaches the village, disaster is guaranteed. Realizing the danger, Ilusia rushes forward with Maria, while heavy footsteps from deeper in the forest warn that an even greater threat is coming.
Ilusia and Maria realize the truth behind Daz's actions. The object Daz was carrying might be a rock dragon egg, and if he brings it into the village, it could attract the dragon and put everyone in danger. Ilusia tries to chase after Daz while being attacked by wolves along the way. Maria suggests staying behind to hold the monsters off, but Ilusia refuses to abandon her. After fighting the wolves, Ilusia carries Maria and rushes towards the village as quickly as possible. When they finally arrive, Gregory panics after seeing a dragon approaching. However, Maria quickly explains that the dragon is Ilusia and that he came to protect the village. Gregory recognizes Ilusia as the same dragon he encountered before and realizes that Ilusia is actually trying to help humans. Just then, a huge roar echoes from the forest. The rock dragon has already been lured toward the village. Maria explains that Daz used the dragon's egg as bait to bring the monster here. Gregory tells Maria to evacuate villagers while he and Ilusia chase after Daz to stop him before the dragon reaches the village. They soon find Daz near the watchtower.
Something is clearly wrong with him, and Ilusia notices that his status looks strange, similar to the abnormal condition the wolves had earlier. Before they can stop him properly, the rock dragon finally arrives, smashing into the village, causing massive destruction. Ilusia realizes that if he had defeated Daz earlier, this disaster might not have happened. However, there is no time to regret it now. Gregory helps evacuate a child and leaves the battle to Ilusia. Determined to protect the villagers, Ilusia decides to fight the rock dragon himself. But the monster is far stronger than expected. Even Ilusia's attacks barely affect it, and the battle quickly turns dangerous. Gregory and the villagers return to help fight the dragon together, but the creature's strength overwhelms them. The situation becomes desperate. At that moment, Ilusia's divine voice skill levels up, unlocking a new ability that shows possible future outcomes depending on how he evolves. Ilusia discovers 4 possible evolutions, each with different chances of survival and victory, but none of the options guarantee that he can save everyone. Now, with the entire village in danger and his allies depending on him, Ilusia must make a difficult decision about which evolution to choose in order to protect them. Ilusia is pushed to the limit as the rock dragon continues its rampage. Even the divine voice tells him to run away, but he refuses. Instead, he decides to evolve, believing it is his last chance to win. He is given 4 evolution options, but none of them offer a good outcome. Some give him a chance to survive, while others risk destroying the entire village. No matter what he chooses, the odds are terrible. Still, Ilusia refuses to give up. Meanwhile, the villagers are evacuating, and Myria and Marielle prepare to help Gregory, who is still fighting the rock dragon alone. Back at the battlefield, Ilusia finds Gregory badly injured and close to death. Ilusia plans to evolve into a healing type to save him, but Gregory stops him. Instead, Gregory tells Ilusia to eat him and become stronger. At first, Ilusia refuses, but he soon realizes the truth behind his evolution path. Understanding that this is the only way to save everyone, Ilusia makes a painful decision. He kills Gregory. Because of this, a new evolution path unlocks, Plague Dragon. Without hesitation, Ilusia chooses it and transforms into a much stronger and more terrifying form. With his new power, Ilusia returns to battle. He struggles at first, as the rock dragon's defense is extremely strong, but after observing carefully, he discovers its weak point is the neck. Using his poison and skills, Ilusia repeatedly attacks the same spot. Finally, with a powerful move called Neckbreaker, he defeats the rock dragon. After the battle, Myria finds Ilusia and recognizes him despite his new form. But Marielle attacks, believing him to be a dangerous monster who killed Gregory. Even though Myria trusts him, Ilusia realizes that his poisonous body is too dangerous for her. Accepting this painful truth, he pushes her away and leaves the village. Later, alone, Ilusia reflects on everything. He remembers the meaning of his name, a symbol of courage and heroism, but now feels he no longer deserves it after killing a human. Overwhelmed with guilt and confusion, Ilusia begins to question his purpose and why he was brought into this world.
Ilusia, testing his newly evolved body, he feels much stronger, but his movements are stiff and his recovery is not as effective as he expected. As he looks around, he notices a flower that reminds him of the name Ilusia. The name symbolizes courage and heroism, but he feels unworthy of it and questions his purpose in this world. Meanwhile, a group of adventurers discovers the corpse of a rock dragon and becomes concerned about the nearby village. They soon find survivors at a camp where Maria and Marielle are helping the injured. Marielle explains that a plague dragon defeated the rock dragon and then flew into the forest. While most villagers escaped, some are still missing, so the group heads out to search for them. Back in the forest, Ilusia reunites with the black lizard and apologizes for leaving her behind. However, he realizes he can no longer live among humans after becoming a plague dragon and killing Gregory. He decides to leave the forest, but first wants to uncover the truth behind what happened with Daz. Believing it is his responsibility, he chooses to act as a hero in his own way. Suddenly, his psychic ability detects a dangerous presence. He finds a strange slime with abnormal abilities. Upon analyzing it, he discovers that the slime possesses skills from both humans and monsters. Elucia realizes that this slime is the mastermind behind everything, including controlling Daz and causing the village's destruction. Elucia attacks, but the slime uses tricks like smokescreens and illusions. It transforms into human forms and reveals that it has killed many people to steal their abilities. It even admits to orchestrating the entire disaster just to collect more skills. Hearing this, Elucia becomes furious and decides to destroy it. The battle begins as Elucia uses powerful attacks like Scorching Breath and Meteorite, but the slime survives and transforms into a spider-like form. Despite taking heavy damage, it keeps regenerating, revealing that its entire body acts as its core. As the fight continues, the black lizard joins in and manages to poison the slime. However, the slime quickly counterattacks, uses magic to slow her down, and captures her. Elucia watches helplessly as the black lizard is sealed inside a crystal, leaving him facing the powerful slime.
Meanwhile, the intense battle between Elucia and the slime continues as the slime reveals that its entire body is the main body, meaning it cannot be defeated in a simple way. It confidently mocks Elucia and tells him that the fight is pointless, but Elucia refuses to back down and declares that he will kill it no matter what. As they clash, Black Lizard manages to land a powerful poison attack on the slime, giving Elucia a brief advantage. However, the situation quickly turns when the slime neutralizes the poison by stealing Black Lizard's skill. This shocked Elucia, making him realize that the slime can view stats and abilities just like he can. The slime confirms this and even reveals that it hears a mysterious divine voice guiding it to grow stronger at any cost. Unlike the slime, Elucia rejects this path and states that he fights to protect what matters to him, not just for power. The slime then summons Maha wolves to distract Elucia while secretly using them to gather mana. Elucia quickly sees through the plan and defeats the wolves one by one. But just when he thinks he has the upper hand, the slime tricks him by disguising itself as one of the wolves and launches a surprise attack, piercing Elucia's body and locking his movement. With no way to escape and the slime beginning to consume him, Elucia comes up with a desperate final plan. He uses all his remaining strength to fly high into the sky, dragging the slime along with him. At first, the slime mocks him, but soon realizes the danger and starts begging for mercy. Ignoring everything, Elucia prepares his final attack. He crashes down from a massive height, using his ultimate move to ensure the slime is completely destroyed, even if it means sacrificing himself. A massive explosion erupts upon impact, shaking the entire area. When Miria and the others arrive, they find Elucia lying motionless on the ground. Miria is devastated and breaks down in tears, unable to accept his death. The group is left in shock, with many unanswered questions about what really happened during the fight. Sometime later, Elucia suddenly regains consciousness in a dark, unfamiliar place. At first, he panics and thinks he is reincarnated as an egg again, but after breaking free, he realizes he is still alive. However, things are not normal. Instead of the forest, he finds himself surrounded by a vast ocean and endless sand. Confused and completely alone, Elucia begins to wonder how he survived and where he has ended up now. That was Season 1 of Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling. Subscribe for more anime recaps like this one.